Great. How are you?
I'm
We
good.
talk about
Excited to talk
ourselves.
about it.
My wife says people are never happier than when they're talking about themselves.
That's true. That's true. And I'm never happier than doing these interviews and getting to hear about the characters I want to talk
Excellent.
about. So there we go. But the first thing I want to ask you is your characters are not really the best people. They're fun and very tense to
How
watch.
dare you? So let's leave. We're out.
It's hard to find sympathy or empathy for them.
Oh my
They
gosh.
don't really have those redeeming qualities. What were the discussions you had portraying those characters? And was it kind of fun to just play entitled jerks the whole time?
We didn't have any discussions. It's in the script. We played the people who they are, who they are. They go on these journeys. They both face some real questions of internal crisis and external crisis. And hopefully, genuinely now, I think the audience will see their essential humanity. This is a terrible comparison to make, but Raging Bull is about a man who beats his brother and beats his wife and beats himself. He's a pretty despicable human being, but you can't help but understand the human at the heart of it and feel for him. And I hope that by the end of White Lotus, those of people left alive, you'll see as human beings instead of big swinging dicks of finance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, I echo everything Jason said. I did talk with Mike and collaborate with him a little bit on it because I was a little worried once I'd read the scripts about him being just a one level kind of douche throughout. And it was really important to Mike that he be this kind of gregarious and really fun and laughable guy and someone that you hated but also enjoyed watching and thought was hilarious. And there were little humanizing elements of him. So I think that was something that I hope we worked on and it came through. But
And then
yeah.
stuff happens and things change for everyone. You haven't seen the end of it. And, Mike is too good a writer to write anybody that A, doesn't change in their week, and B, that is categorizable.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of it. And this family are conservative and a little bit racist people of privilege who seem to have this alpha male
You
mentality,
say that like it's a bad thing.
except for Piper and Lachlan. They're redeeming themselves. But what do you feel this family represents in the story? What do you think they represent about society?
Oh, I think he's much too sophisticated a writer to write anybody as a symbol or a cipher. They are these individual people. And the best thing that we can hope is, A, you're gripped by their story. And at the end, you start a conversation about what you recognize, what you liked, what you wouldn't have done, and who you know who's like them. But I don't think he writes anything to be representative.
No, I think that was well said.
Yeah. And then, Jason, I want to start with you. The character of Timothy feels familiar to this rich businessman kind of doing dirty deals and getting desperate. You don't know what he's going to do. And then Patrick Saxton is basically alpha male, spoiled rich kid. Were there people that you kind of modeled your character after or found inspiration with? Anything like
Sure.
that?
We don't need to look too far to find titans of industry with enormous status and reputation who built it on an immoral background. Open any newspaper anywhere, watch the news.
Yep.
Sure.
Patrick, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, once I actually booked the role and I talked with Mike, he had given me kind of an idea of who he based the character off of, or a certain reality star to watch to get kind of ideas on how to portray the character and what they were really like. So I watched that and took some elements of that character and that specific person, and yeah.
Have you known people like that?
Well, I don't know to
Not
that
in your inner
degree.
circle.
But yeah, you always meet people. I mean, yeah, there's people that have certain elements and certain qualities of Saxon. I mean, same as of Timothy.
Yeah.
I don't know someone specifically that does everything like Saxon or
No.
Timothy, and I'm glad I don't. But
Oh, yeah, we've come across people a bit like them. We all have.
Yeah, you would definitely all have. And Thailand is obviously such a beautiful location to film in with so much life and culture. Did being immersed in the country and that culture impact your portrayal of the character in any way, or even impact you as a person?
didn't impact me as the character. I mean, I think like Jason said before, I mean, what's written on the page and what Mike has, I mean, he has a very clear vision for a reason. So I don't think that, I mean, sure, there are scenes that involve the aesthetics and the locations of Thailand and the beauty and all those different things from the full moon party and the boats and the yachts and whatnot, but it didn't impact the actual character. I mean, I'm sure it impacted Mike when he was writing the character, that's for sure, but it didn't impact my character from my way I played it.
No, I think the heat, it was, some days the heat was just insane. kind of eye-meltingly hot, and that builds up. If my character's doesn't matter what the weather would have been, he would have been going through the worst time in his life, with everything at threat and in play. But doing that inside a pressure cooker, a kind of sauna, doesn't help you. It will make things worse.
And I
Getting
want to
bitten
ask you,
alive by insects at the same time.
I can't imagine that. The insects is where I draw the line. I want to ask you a question. I always love asking actors to get into character. There's so many elements, whether it be props or the location or wardrobe, anything like that, that maybe the audiences wouldn't notice. So is there any sort of, detail that the audience wouldn't pick up on as important, but was important to you when you were playing the character?
Oh, I mean, I think the things you just said were definitely contributors. I mean, I think when I put on that outfit of salmon colored shorts, tucked in light blue Southern Tide shirt with the glasses that have the little string around it, I felt like and flip flops. I felt like a different.
Sarah Catherine was mentioning your flip-flops in the other
Yeah, I don't think I ever worn flip-flops, but that outfit, I mean, it felt like you had a cape on. You felt like a different person. It was like this, and it's true. I mean, you do when you start to set into a character and you have a different haircut or you have a different accent for you, or you have a different, you really start to put yourself into someone else's shoes and live like them, breathe like them, walk like them. All those different things are contributors to who that character is.
Yeah, Alex, who's a brilliant costume designer, you put the uniform on. Everybody has a uniform in life that says, "This, I'm part of this subculture," and you kind of denote yourself, define yourself in society. And so there we are, these blue-blooded Americans just dripping with entitlement. And for me, Patrick's absolutely right. The voice, to make it specific to Durham, North Carolina, in fact, to a particular individual that I had in my head and in my headphones, it starts with the voice. It always starts with the voice for me. How do people speak?
And lastly, I want to ask, what did you two learn from working with each other?
Oh God.
I learned some humility. I was incredibly disappointed when I met him because I was expecting someone I could resent, so some young prince of Hollywood who would behave in a horrendous way, that had been spoiled growing up and had been around celebrity. And he was incredibly humble and kind and curious and present and just very, very real and optimistic, which I'm not at all, and cynical. And I like to burst every single bubble and to be, I think, amusing, but possibly it comes across as aggressive or undermining, and sometimes it wounds him. He's vulnerable and honest and earnest, and so I learned just to take a breath sometimes and read the room.
We're a good yin and yang. We're a good half and half of positive and negativity. It brings together a perfect match. But I learned so much from Jason, from how to be a great partner to a great father, but also on screen, I think was it's a very tight rope to walk, from your shoes of how do you help an actor that's younger in his career and in his field and in his experience, without coming off as kind of a, I don't know, bossy or an asshole or something like that. Some people might get offended when you tell them, give point of views or perspectives or tips and tricks and all these different things. And for me, it was I'm always open, and it was a great learning experience for me to work under Jason and to have a mentor like
under me. You don't work under me. We're with me.
Across side by side.
I'm never going to work again. Thanks so much for that. Well, I've had a good run. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, you two are wonderful.
180 films. Fine.
Thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The Hard Knock